A true man bestows masculinity and femininity. A Navy SEAL told me that. What does that mean? Well, I want to talk to you about my definition and my interpretation of masculinity and femininity, because every man has masculinity in him and femininity in him, and every woman has femininity in her and masculinity in her. It's a ratio. Everyone has different ratios. So I want to talk to you about the different ratios of masculine energy and feminine energy. What is masculine energy and feminine energy? And mind you, I want to talk in practical terms. When it comes to spirituality, I have a spiritual side to me, but I don't want to make that my identity, because I think a lot of people who make spirituality their identity, sometimes there's a disconnect. So I want to break it down in practical terms. Now, a man bestows masculinity and femininity. That's what Jimmy Watson told me. Jimmy Watson is a retired Navy SEAL, CEO, got the craziest story. I filmed a podcast with him. Now, he is as manly as it comes. And I was interested when he said, yeah, men have femininity. And I'm not here to preach men be soft, right? Completely opposite message. I'm not here to preach men be soft. From an energy standpoint, a masculine energy is a push energy. From an energy standpoint, femininity is a pull energy. It's an attraction energy. So masculine energy is creation. Femininity is attraction energy. Now, when it comes to masculinity, there's toughness, strength, accountability, discipline, creation. Femininity is creativity, being artistic, healing, nurturing, taking care. So when it comes to masculinity and femininity, think of strength and warmth. Think of masculinity as strength and femininity as warmth when it applies to being a man. So when it comes to men, if you're a man, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. I will die on a hill for this. Men, we need to be strong. We need to protect and provide. And it can be overwhelming at first before you really embrace that role, because you're like, nah, that's my father's role. Like, I want to be a kid, I want to be an adolescent, I just want to enjoy myself. But when you accept it, when you accept that it's my duty to protect and provide, you will be in alignment with your highest self. There will be a lot more things that come into alignment. Men will respect you, your family will feel safe around you, women will be attracted to that. Now, warmth, empathy, compassion, right? When it comes to femininity in men, I think we need to focus on empathy and compassion. I'm not here to tell you be soft and be in your feelings. Nah, don't complain, don't whine. Show emotions to connect with people, but don't show emotions because subconsciously you want someone to feel sorry for yourself. So empathy, right? As men, as leaders, that's what I want to talk about. That's what I want to emerge as, and inspiring other people to emerge as leaders. So as leaders, humans are super emotional. They're emotional creatures. Don't believe what anyone tells you if they're not emotional. Now, we need to create the space for our people, for our tribe in particular, in our tribe. Like, if you got your boy, like, just know that you got his back. When it comes to women, like my grandma, my 90-year-old grandma told me this, and I think this is one of the best relationship advice. And why it's so valuable, because it's coming from my grandma who's also 90. The people who've lived past 80, those are the testimonials. Those people really know how to live life, and listen to what they have to say. So my grandma, she said, just tell the girl it's gonna be all right. When it comes to femininity in emotions and how that manifests in like relationship dynamics, femininity is like a wave, right? There are waves of emotions. They're asymmetrical, so it's not predictable. If a woman's coming to you, tell them it's gonna be all right. Reassure them, create the space for them so they can feel safe emotionally. But when it comes to men femininity of compassion and empathy, like, be a good listener. Just listen to your boys, right? To be that therapist friend, you don't need to give them advice the majority of the time. Just listen and ask questions. Ask questions so they can get to the conclusion themselves, right? And you set them up. You toss up that assist. They think that they figured it out themselves, but we all know that you ask the right questions, you probe the right questions for them to come to the realization. So now let's talk about ratios. I think my feminine to masculine ratio is 80-20. I think I'm 80% in my masculine, 20% in my feminine. So what does that look like? One, I want to be strong physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. When it comes to femininity, appreciation for art and creativity. So I was on this plane recently, and there's these two girls that sat next to me, and we struck up a conversation talking about life, talking about astrology. That's another side. I think that's another thing where like I like to talk about astrology when I'm talking to women. So we're talking, and then the conversation comes up of masculinity and femininity and ratios. So we're talking about our ratios, and so I said, yeah, I think I'm 80-20, 80% masculine, 20% feminine. And then this girl next to me, she was cute. She was like, yeah, I have a boyfriend. He's 60-40. I said, okay, yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. 60% masculine, 40% feminine. She goes, no. He's 60% feminine, 40% masculine. There's polarities there. That can work if the girl is the opposite polarity, where she's 60% masculine, 40% feminine. It might work, but this is the thing. This is what I believe. In general, women want to be led by a strong man. They want to turn off their brains. One of the most attractive things a man can do for a woman when she has a problem, he goes up to her and says, I'll take care of it. Every woman is low-key longing for that. And now generally, if you're in your feminine and you're a man, you're not taking the initiative to problem solve. So what I say, that leaves cracks in the relationship. She's not gonna leave you because you can't solve a problem, but over time, when you show more and more incompetencies, eventually I think that can lead to the downfall of the relationship. And so one thing I could just tell, like, I had her attention. Not only was her head turned, her whole body language was turned, and she was so engaged by what I was saying. And I'm thinking, like, you have a boyfriend. Why are you so into me right now? Why are you so into this? But I think it's because you'll see this in dating. There's a lot of temporary boyfriends, placeholder boyfriends that women in general will date because maybe they don't want to be lonely. So you got this placeholder boyfriend. And another thing when it comes to dating, I've noticed women date for two things. If you have both of them, she'll never look at another man. But if you only have one of these, she'll be curious. Women are attracted to men that can signal resources, stability, right? Generally financially, and then there's physical attraction. So do you ever walk around and you see a woman who is just with this butt ugly guy and she's gorgeous? You're like, how are they together? Most likely it's because he has stability and he can signal resources, which women are attracted to, because everyone is living for survival. But then there's physical attraction, reproduction, mating. Like, looks do matter. Looks do matter. Like, let's not hide that fact. So I live in Miami and I'm walking around and I'm in shape, and I just am a little disturbed by how many wives check me out. And then I look at their man and he stopped working on himself. He's not in shape. So their curiosity for physical attraction is still there. They'll still look, even though if their partner has stability, and vice versa. If she's dating a guy who's good looking but can't provide stability, she'll be curious in the back of her head, in my opinion. Men, it's our responsibility. Let's do both. It doesn't have to be an or thing. Life does not have to be an or thing. Life can be an and thing. I can be in shape. I can be a physical specimen, and I can be extremely successful. And if you do that, you will attract the perfect woman. You'll attract a woman who's inner feminine. And so let's talk about polarities, right? If you're a masculine man, if you're strong, you're gonna most likely want a feminine woman. A feminine woman who's soft, who's nurturing, who's touching, who's healing, who's intuitive. A man should protect the physical, a woman should protect the spiritual. And also when it comes to masculinity in men, there's 3 levels of masculinity. This is one of the most important parts. So level 1 masculinity, that's your strong, like, meathead, right? He's strong, bad boy, loose cannon, like, you know, you don't want to mess with him. But he doesn't have emotional regulation. That's so important. Women are not attracted to that. Maybe a little bit. Maybe when it comes to, they're attracted to the bad boy, but in terms of long-term stability, it's not a good method where, yeah, you're strong, but you're a loose cannon and your emotions are unpredictable. Level 2 masculinity is he's too much in his feminine, right? You could say beta. He's too emotional and not enough strength. He's not in touch enough with the strength side. Then there's level 3 masculinity, and that's somebody who displays strength and warmth. Somebody who can protect and provide, but also somebody who displays empathy and compassion. So I'm right now kind of on this process to masculine max. I'm on this process right now to masculine max, right? I'm lifting weights every day. I'm training Muay Thai and boxing every day. I'm sharpening my mind. I just am taking radical accountability, extreme accountability and discipline. I'm focusing in on that. And you know what? It's great. I am in God's favor. I am accruing a lot of good karmic debt. But there's a polarity. I notice like my soul and my spirit is craving that polarity of softness, of femininity, of nurturing, of healing. So there's polarity. So the more masculine you are, the more feminine you can attract a woman. I said I'm 80-20, but sometimes if you're more feminine, you can probably attract a more masculine woman, and I guess that can work. I would not go about that strategy because there are so many masculine women today, and that's okay. But in general, women want to be in touch with their feminine, and women will only be in their masculine when they don't feel safe. So sometimes you see this a lot. You got these masculine girls who date a feminine guy, and maybe that works in the short term. I don't think it can work in the long term, but there are exceptions. But generally, if you have a masculine woman, you need an extra masculine man for her to feel safe and submit into her feminine energy. It's beautiful, right? It can be easy for a man to trick a woman, and it can be easy for a woman to trick a man, but it's almost impossible to trick a man and a woman working together. We need to work together. I love women. Women are the gifts of the earth. We need to work together, and the world will be a better place if you are in touch and in tune with your masculine energy and your feminine energy. My name is Brendan Brown. Thank you for watching this video. Please check out my other videos. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, check me out on IG, and I'm here to just share my truth and share my experience. So I will see you in the next video.